So we just had the state of play on September 24th. Let's talk about it. Wolverine, the end off. This thing looked incredible. This is everything that you want for a Wolverine game, right? Like, I think a lot of people who are Wolverine fans, they look back to that Wolverine Origins game, you know, a movie tie-in game, yes, but that game was so much fun to play where you really felt like Wolverine. And this is Insomniac. We knew they would deliver, and this trailer just showed that they delivered and they understand what it takes for a Wolverine game to be great, to be amazing, to feel amazing. The blood, the gore, the intenseness, the gameplay for this looks incredible. It's going to feel incredible. We also got the confirmed for the voice actor Liam McIntyre from Spartacus, as well as playing JD Phoenix from Gears of War. Phenomenal casting for Wolverine, for Logan in this game. Excited to see the possibilities of the storylines. We saw Omega Red, we saw Mystique, we saw a Sentinel. There's a lot of cool things in this trailer, but the big thing that I keep coming back to is, man, did this gameplay just deliver? Everything about it just looked great for what you want for a Wolverine game. But again, dude, it's Insomniac. Just let them cook. They've been cooking the entire PS5 generation. Overall, a gaming generation that has felt very lackluster to an extent, depending on how you want to refer to it. But Insomniac, they have been delivering throughout the entire generation. From the kickoff of the PS5 to now, they have been doing a phenomenal job. We knew they would cook. We just had to let them cook. We had to let them do their thing, and they've come forth and they have delivered with a really cool trailer. They did confirm we'd be seeing more in spring of next year, as well as a release date of fall of next year as well, plus the cover art. Overall, I think this is going to be one of the two biggest takeaways from this state of play. Again, one, it's a state of play that I think a lot of people probably aren't super high on besides one or two announcements, but this one definitely is one to write home about. Very excited to see more of this in the spring. This is obviously going to be a day one pickup for a lot of people. I'm just glad they nailed the feeling of Wolverine. All right, that's the big thing to take away from this trailer. Excited to see more. The next game everyone's going to obviously ride home about is Seiros, which kicked off the show. This is from Housemarque, who did Returnal. Personally, never played Returnal. I think that Returnal looks really cool. Just one I never picked up. Should I pick it up? Let me know. Seiros is one that, for me, I think the lore potential and just the world looks so awesome. And the gameplay, honestly, man, I'm so glad that the trailer just jumped right into gameplay. It wasn't one of those CGI narrative-focused trailers that doesn't deliver the gameplay what it looks like. It's Housemarque. We knew the gameplay was going to deliver from what Returnal delivered on, right? So we knew the gameplay would deliver. I'm glad they put it at the forefront, showing you different combat abilities and detailing all the different things like the shield, the second chance, etc., and just how fluid and quick this gameplay was. Again, I didn't play Returnal, but Seiros is one that's on my radar because it just looks like fun. It's one of those games where, for me, I know I am going to be hot garbage at the gameplay. I can watch it and be like, yeah, I'm going to suck. I'm going to have a rough time. But, dude, just like the world itself is something that kind of draws me in and makes me kind of interested in the game, because like the world, the environment, just the overall aesthetic and the vibe of the game really looks like extremely cool, and it's one that I'm going to be watching for. But this is obviously a big one that people are going to be writing home about and going to be super excited for. The immediate reaction so far is, oh yeah, that's a day one pickup, baby. And that, of course, is also slated for 2026, March 20th, 2026, actually. So you're getting it at the end of Q1, which is really cool. After those two, what was the big hitters for you? That's my question for you in the comments, is what stood out to you besides the two massive hitters? This state of play just had like a lot of follow-ups to stuff we already knew, and then just a few announcements, right? So it's like some of the follow-ups that we had in here were really cool. A couple of my highlights were follow-ups. There was one other, what I can tell is a new announcement. I don't think this game has been announced before, but like there's only like one other new announcement and then two follow-ups that really kind of like delivered for me personally on some level. But I want to know for you guys, what stood out to you outside of like the two big ones? What got you most excited? For me, Chronoscript: The Endless End was one that visually and just gameplay wise stood out to me. I really love these type of games that are just so creative with the art style and with just different gameplay approaches. Like this pin art style they've got going on for like this dark fantasy, like action adventure, like Metroidvania type game, and how like, you know, the world can change where it's like the pages fall from one part of the table to another part, which opens up more of the game. You're going through the ink to get from one page to another. Like, that is so cool and unique to me. I love stuff like that, which is why kind of a random comparison, but like a comparison in the realm of like the art style and the vibe is like, I love the Plucky Squire last year. That's just a really unique and cool approach to a game in what Devolver Digital did over there with Plucky Squire. The Chronoscript Endless End, man, just like that pinced art style was so sick to me. I loved how it swapped from page to page and how the world changes as stuff moved around on the table. This is one that I'll be watching for in 2026. One of my highlights of the show. I thought it looked so cool. A couple of follow-ups to games that we got that I'm excited for is Crimson Desert with the actual release date of March 19th of next year. This game was supposed to be this fall, but it did get delayed and we haven't had a date. But whenever it got delayed, we immediately got a new gameplay update. Now we get this new trailer with the release date. The Crimson Desert by Pearl Abyss looks so cool. This is going to be a pickup in March for me for sure. I'm glad we got the follow-up for it. I'm very excited. The next follow-up that I got super excited for is one that's like not going to set the world on fire. This is strictly just like for me as a fan, really excited, and that is Halloween the game. I'm a massive Halloween fan, like the holiday. I'm a massive fan of the property Halloween. Halloween 1978 is one of my favorite horror movies of all time, which is obviously not a unique take. That's a lot of people's favorites. I love the entire franchise. I love Halloween. I love the property. When this got a game, even though I knew what it was going to be, right? It was going to be a multiplayer game like a Friday 13th. You know, I get it. I still just got excited because it's like, okay, cool. My property gets its turn to go get a game. Like, it doesn't matter if this is going to be a 6 out of 10 game. It's going to be a 10 out of 10 for me. So I'm excited that it got its release date of September 6th of next year. This is what I'm looking forward to. This game was also confirmed to have some form of single player mode, which obviously that is really exciting for me because it's like I didn't just want a simple multiplayer game. I don't expect some great masterpiece of a single player, but hey, if I can spend like 3 to 5 hours and play a quick little single player story, whatever, of the 1978 night or whatever, I mean, that's kind of cool. Like, I'm kind of here for that. I'm glad that we're doing more than just a multiplayer like Friday 13th game. So the Halloween follow up there was really cool to me. Honestly, Code Vein 2 looked really sick, man. I never played the first Code Vein. I've wanted to play the first Code Vein, but like I know Code Vein is like an anime Dark Souls essentially, and like Dark Souls, like me and Souls games, dude, we don't mesh. I'm not a great gamer. All right, I'll go ahead and say it up front. I said it on the show, Gamesthetic. I'll continue to say it and hammer it. I'm not a great gamer. All right, so Souls games have always been very challenging for me. I still play some here or there, but Code Vein 2 looked really cool. It's one that I'm going to be watching for potentially. It does come out in January, so it's right around the corner. If I don't really have anything else going on in January, it's one that I may look into, but I don't know. We'll see. I want to go back and play the first one at some point, but I don't know. Is Code Vein 2 something I can just jump into? Do I need to go play the first one? I don't know. I need to do some research on it, but at least the game actually looked really cool. From there, we had announcements like Zero Parades, which is by ZAUM, which of course did Disco Elysium. So I guess shout out to that. Since this game got announced at opening night live, I don't know. It got announced sometime earlier. People are saying, okay, this is basically Disco Elysium 2.0, essentially. I mean, it looked neat. We have Microsoft Flight Simulator, so another Microsoft game coming to PlayStation. Another look at Battlefield 6, Deus Ex Remastered. Last Epoch for PS5, plus first major expansion, Orbis. So shout out to my friend John. He's going to be very excited for that. Seven Deadly Sins Origins, Sonic Racing, Crossworlds, Neo 3 with its release date. Dynasty Warriors 3 Remaster, Final Fantasy Tactics, The Ivy League's Chronicles, Let It Die Inferno. We have Sony speakers, so that's cool. Games coming out for this month for October on like Alan Wake 2 and Cocoon were a couple of them. We had The Last of Us Day, with Last of Us Part 2 coming to PlayStation Plus. A couple new games to PlayStation Classics like Tekken 3, but Soul Calibur 3, that's really cool. That is still my favorite Soul Calibur game to this day. Soul Calibur is the only fighting game franchise that I enjoy, so that was cool. And then a God of War 20th anniversary controller, which looked fine, right? Overall, the state of play was just, it was a thing, right? There were a couple really cool things for the industry, like Wolverine and like Saros, and then it's like throughout the entire trailer, there might have been something else everyone could take away from. Like, there might have been one thing here or there that maybe got you really excited. Overall, it was just a fine state of play, I guess. It was kind of whatever. Had a great ending with Wolverine and the detail on that. Chronoscript was really cool. Saros looked cool. it was just kind of a thing. I don't know. What were you excited for? Did you care about this at all? Was there anything that got you super excited, right? Like, let me know in the comments below. I want to talk about it with you guys. There will be no Gamesthetic this week, which is why I wanted to go ahead and get a video out talking about this. If you made it all the way to the end, I appreciate the hell out of you. Do all the normal things content creators say to do with all the stuff down in the description. Like, comment, subscribe, whatever. Have a great day. See ya.